It has been a while since I have done a video on anything Doctor Who, but the time of switchover to a new Doctor is kind of a big deal. Having seen the power of the Doctor, I have a theory in mind concerning this new old form the Doctor has taken. Essentially, the 14th Doctor has taken on the form of the 10th Doctor, and this is a first in Doctor Who history. However, this sort of thing has been alluded to before, with the appearance of the Curator during the closing days of Matt Smith's run, insinuating heavily that he was a future incarnation of the Time Lord, with the appearance of the Fourth once again. Regeneration is a funny thing, and varies a lot between Time Lords, with some having far greater say in the form taken. Romana, for example, displayed the ability to choose her next regeneration at will, adopting the likeness of the Princess Astra of Atrios. There are many conflicting tales that try to explain why she seemingly used up her regeneration with such glibness when there appeared to be nothing wrong with her prior life, but that is not the point. The point is that she seemed to have complete control over her regeneration, while other Time Lords, including the Doctor, have changed based on their subconscious designs of their mind. For example, the 12th Doctor did by adopting a face of a person he had saved once as a reminder to always try. So, establishing that the mind can have an active role in the form the Doctor takes, are there factors at play that would cause the 14th to resemble the 10th? Well, yes. The 13th's final thoughts are that she feels she needed more time, that she had not seen enough yet, and that she would not get to see more. This is a similar sentiment to 10th's, who expressed his desire to not wanting to depart either. Although the emotion behind each sentiment was different, there is a connective thread there. Additionally, the 13th Doctor's run was plagued by the questions of her uncovering who she really was, her identity being called into question. And even during the power of the Doctor, the Master temporarily assumes the identity of the Doctor too. This may have caused her to reach for something more familiar, a past from which would also tie into the teaser we hear the 14th state that he no longer knows who he is. While 10 did not have a long lifespan, he did technically persist over 2 regenerations, as he was able to retain his form through a fatal shot from a Dalek, regenerating in the episode Journey's End. And that is another factor. Throughout this episode, the Doctor was subjected to regenerative energies several times and had 2 forced regenerations, once into the Master and then again to have that reversed. So there was already a lot of manipulation going on with the Doctor's next incarnation. Perhaps this tied into the strange result. However, there is one more thing that might explain why the 10th form explicitly. 10 is still alive, at least in some form. There is a lot of mentioning of the Meta-Crisis Doctor, who now resides in an alternate universe in a human body, and I even saw an allusion to this eventually becoming the Valeyard, the yet-to-come future splinter of the Doctor's personality based on their darker side. But, excluding that one, who is happily off with Rose enjoying a human life that the Doctor can never have, we have the residual Dr. Donna, which was forcibly sealed away within the mind of Donna Noble, whose human mind cannot contain all the knowledge of a Time Lord. Although repressed, it is still present, as demonstrated when she was able to resist the Master's takeover of every human on Earth. I do have to wonder then, is this lingering essence of the 10th Doctor enough to create some form of anchor, reaching out to the regenerating Doctor and reasserting itself over the malleable form mid-regeneration? For a start, this is the first time that the Doctor has completed a natural regeneration outside of the TARDIS since the Meta-Crisis, and therefore outside of any protective walls the TARDIS may have, leaving her perhaps more open to outside influences. And I very much suspect an outside influence. 2 more things tap into that belief. Firstly, the music cuts off as the regeneration completes, suggesting something unexpected, and the Doctor's reaction, although appreciated, is telling of his confusion. Secondly, as I am sure many noticed, the costume changes too. Something that should not happen, considering that even in this episode, we saw regeneration not altering that. So there is a lot of difference in this process than before. With an outfit very fitting for the 10th, although not identical, and his form reasserting itself, I suspect that, there is some interference from something else, and if I were to point at a culprit or cause, it would be the remaining essence of the 10th Doctor that is still present in Donna Noble. The last question I have is, was it deliberate or an accident? Did the Doctor's mind and experiences somehow escape Donna's? And if that is the case, maybe they siphoned up some of that regenerative energy to conjure a new form for themselves. When people pointed at the Meta-Crisis Doctor and asked, is that the prophetic Valeyard manifesting? Perhaps we were looking at the wrong Doctor. Thanks for watching this theory and my thoughts behind it. Of course, it does all seem like the bringing back of 10 to play 14 is there to simply reignite interest in the show. But, you know what? I see what you're doing, and it's working. On me, at least. Thanks for watching. I've been Rick, and I'll see you next time for another one. Goodbye.